When I was thinking about what lawyers could do, I thought about how lawyers can help people. That there are people who are afraid to talk to a judge or to talk to a police officer, and that I could be their lawyer, to be their voice. I wanted to go to law school so I can be a public interest lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer for immigrants, like my parents. By my third year of law school, I was lucky enough to get a clerkship with a judge for a year that I did after law school. And then after that, I became a civil rights lawyer for immigrants. I did that for 4 years. I was an Equal Justice Works Fellow for 2 years, and then they hired me to be their staff attorney. By that time, though, I had started to think about becoming a law professor. And so 4 years later, after practicing law, I went to Columbia Law School for a master's in law. As a law professor, I want to teach students to be creative and to think about their own role as lawyers, how they can transform people's lives. I get to help those students think about what the law could be so that the world can be a better place.
As women, I think we're often taught to listen before we speak, but Rose is someone who takes courage from her convictions, and she's not afraid to fight for them, even in the face of vocal skepticism or even dissent. And I think that's something that we can all learn from.
I've taught at SMU Law School, Hofstra Law School, and UC Davis School of Law. And then in 2018, I came to Rutgers Law School in Newark. I am proud of Rutgers Law School for its commitment to diversity and academic excellence. I love my family. My husband, Rodney Villazor, is a lawyer like me. We have 2 daughters, Reese Villazor, and my youngest daughter, Riley Villazor. There are thousands of people who need access to lawyers, and I hope to continue to be one of those lawyers and law professors and deans who will help people have that path to becoming lawyers. It has been an incredibly rewarding experience to be co-dean with Dean Kim Mutcherson.
I am one of those people who decided I wanted to be a lawyer when I was very young. I felt like lawyers did the work that made the world a better place. So my entire educational career from there was focused on becoming a lawyer. I went to Columbia for law school and started right away trying to get the kind of experience that would allow me to be a public interest lawyer. I did some really wonderful internships at places like the ACLU and the Center for Reproductive Law and Policy. And then when I graduated, I got a public interest fellowship. And I did that fellowship for a year at a place called the HIV Law Project. I practiced law for about 3.5 years before I transitioned to being a law school professor. Once I started teaching, I absolutely loved it. I love being in a classroom. I love interacting with students, watching them learn new things and gain confidence. Best part of this job, besides being in the classroom with students, is then watching them after they graduate and they get these great jobs. It's really joyous. I became a dean in January of 2019. I was the first woman, the first Black person, and the first member of the LGBTQ community to be dean at Rutgers Law School in Camden.
Kim is not a different person in any context, and sometimes you see people change their presentation, change their style of speech, even their comportment to adjust to different audiences. Kim is always the same person no matter what audience she's engaged with, no matter what constituency, whether it's alumni, faculty, or students. She's very down to earth, she's very direct, and you always know where she stands and what she thinks about issues.
We get tons of people at our law school who are first-generation college students or first-generation law students, and you can watch their lives transform, and not just their lives, but the trajectory of their entire family changes because they go to law school. I have 2 kids at home. My daughter's name is Josephine, and she's 15, and my son is Max, and he's 17. My kids have been such an important part of my ability to be successful. I've been incredibly lucky because I've been able to work with Rose, who is another person who is receiving the award this year, who's also a first in her role in a number of different ways. I feel like we're a really good representation of what women's leadership can look like and how women can support each other in leadership roles.